Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice!
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Episode 2, Taken. I love that they pattern it like this. Ooh, 3 years ago in New York City.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Good thinking. And now the most important quest. Coffee. First, look at this little dresser,
Hey,
drawer,
handsome.
cabinet.
This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
Man, they have got quite the spot if this is a New York City apartment. Did he say worst weather he'd ever seen? It doesn't look that snowy. Come on, Al. Suck it up. This is the most inconvenient bookcase I've ever seen. Look at this. You'd have to reach in and like scrape your wrist in order to actually get a book out of the corners.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
God, I would murder someone for a kitchen like this in an apartment in New York City. Yep, yeah, we're getting the like preface chapter here. Ooh, manuscript page. Wait a minute, we're getting manuscript pages in the past? Oh, so these manuscript pages are in each chapter. Oh, some of them you can only find in nightmare difficulty. That's what those little icons mean. I see.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
So these are
This
in a
was
different
late
narration.
goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Jeez. It's a nice pad. Yeah, you guys are right. It's much closer to 23 than it is to 3, I would imagine.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Well, thank you, sweetie. Man, this QR code, I'm gonna get nice and close to it if anyone wants to try and snap that. Because I'm sure that takes you to some kind of like promotional page for the game. That's bonkers. Alan Wake. An Alex Casey thriller, so that's like his like main character. The Fall of Casey, The Things That I Want, Alex Casey, What I Can't Forget, and Return to Sender. And then The Sudden Stop is the one we're working on now. Or a Rickroll. It could be to a Rickroll.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called.
Okay.
Alan!
I know she's
Alan,
freaked out,
please check the
but our
fuse box.
award on the desk
I'm
is
right
very
here.
clearly Max
I'm on it,
Payne's
honey.
Akimbo
Please
pistols.
hurry.
I'm right here, baby.
I'm fine, I'm fine. Just get the lights back on, now,
Honey,
please.
it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry.
It's an Easter egg to Max Payne. That makes
It
sense.
just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know
Don't worry.
it's stupid.
We'll just
but
make
it's
things
just-
sexy.
especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
That's not sexy, Weenie? I don't know. Candlelit smooching in a blizzard? I mean, stories about children's nightlights are less sexy.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
Not great, if I'm honest.
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head. I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
That's big fisherman energy for me to be like, oh, sorry about your fishing trip, and for him to launch into a goddamn diatribe. Man, look at this.
I believe
We could break the backlog on this computer, guys. We could do it. He is an awesome doctor. I'd let him treat me. He seems like he's on the up and up. What else we got going on here? I love their choice. I don't know that we're actually going to get a chance to walk through Bright Falls, but man, they could have cheaped out so hard and just not rendered any of this scenery outside of the station, and they didn't. And I love that. I love it when games give you windows that function like windows.
For a chance to talk to you.
That's so good. All right, let's go see what Sheriff Breaker's got. Oh, first we need some wisdom from the lantern lady. We won't call her the log lady.
Testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
I love that this old
Mr. Wake,
crazy
the
lady
sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
just goes
That
into the
was
places
Cynthia
around
Weaver.
town.
I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back
She's
in
the
her
only one of
day,
you that's
she
smart.
wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Games and Windows are the best games. Boo to Mac. Damn right. Look at also, like, there's a decent
sheriff
amount of
wants to
attention to
see you in
detail
her
in the rendering of the
office, Mr.
back
Wake.
of this computer and stuff. They've done a decent job with a lot of these details. Given how old this is, it's shocking how well it's standing up. We should bring her with us. Miss Weaver, would you like to confront the crazy, scary shadow monsters?
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the parade float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
I like that they're trying to find small victories in the fact that they still found the parade float, though. It's 144 hertz CRT. They go hard in Bright
Alice looked
Falls.
through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Should not have laughed. That creepy bitch is hanging out
Sheriff
somewhere.
Breaker is waiting for you down the corridor in her office.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Who's missing? Aw, I hope we find this kitty. Oh boy. Have you seen this man? Disappeared on June 20th, 2007. Identifying features: knack for winning contests. So I'm assuming these are fans that won a contest. That's pretty funny. Maybe these are devs. Missing: Richard Baugh, Bruce Dansky, Jacob Miller on a camping trip. Overdue, haven't been in contact. If you have seen them or know their whereabouts, please call 555-9932. Thank you. Interesting. Hey, I got the same fuse panel in my fancy apartment in New York City. We're like twinsies.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Oh, thank you for charging my phone. If this was 2000, like, phones had
Your phone,
55
Mr.
different
Wake?
types of charge cables, I'm actually pretty pleased she charged it for us.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up.
Ooh, phone call, you say.
Excuse me. I need to take this.
Branded by Verizon.
Hello?
Alice, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
The voice acting reminds me of Michael Fassbender doing an American accent in Prometheus. There is like kind of a weird cadence to it. Alan Wake's a better writer than Stephen King. I mean, look, there's a lot of Stephen King's writing that I am not a fan of, but
Mr. Wake, can I help you?
having
with anything?
difficulty writing a book has never been a Stephen
The
King
sheriff said I
problem.
could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he'd quit drinking for good.
Hey, mister! Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
I got you, dog.
Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See? Sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen.
He's still going.
Listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
Walter, I think you need a nap, dog. Maybe a Gatorade and some pretzels.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Ooh. It found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. So if Rose had listened to Miss Weaver and fixed the light bulb in that back hallway, we might have never had a problem.
Headache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Well, what he had also said was, "Dog, don't forget your thermos."
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
God, I just want to subscribe to his radio show as a podcast. That old town, or the small town, like old time local news podcast. I love it.
Police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
You guys ever listen to Welcome to Night Vale? That's got that energy. Hey, what's up, Venom?
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Ooh, all right, so we're gonna have a showdown with the kidnappers.
Alice's
Did I see you
driver's
started?
license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Did I see you had started New Game Plus on Sekiro, Venom?
Barry?
Ow, thank God, where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick, I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Can we turn this TV on? Okay.
The writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
No pressure, though.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh,
yes.
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move. Get your hands off of my client.
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You
What an entrance.
yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
It's Joe Pesci. He just made an entrance like it was My Cousin Vinny, so that's super appropriate.
I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
Barry, what's up with the high waters, dog?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you.
Oh, great. Bucktooth Charlie, the Columbian mammoth. This is my guy right here. The skeleton of a Columbian mammoth, Mammothus columbi. This species, estimated to be 14,000 years old, was recovered from La Brea tar pits in 1981. It was donated to the Elderwood National Park in 1998, when the Columbian mammoth became Washington's state fossil. Named Bucktooth Charlie, it has since become the park's official mascot. Do states really have... I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Like, if you've got a bird and a state dessert and a state flower.
Seriously,
but man, state fossil is pretty bananas.
Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the
Yeah,
last
maybe
time
say
you
that a little
slept?
louder, Barry.
Are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week. And someone's got Alice.
Do
and
you
everything's
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong. It's a good story. Could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
You're being kind of a rude, Barry, if I'm honest. And I know you're just yelling at me about being crazy, but don't mind while I steal some thermoses. Don't ask why I'm carrying 15 thermoses, Barry. Look at this boy. We can enlist him to help us fight the darkness. Look at these little picnic tables.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure.
I hope
What
Doggo's okay.
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Hell, at least Max is gonna be okay.
Okay.
He got lucky.
Max is gonna be all right, confirmed.
Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
Please, Bucktooth Charlie, put some respect on his name.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Barry, I wish this was all a joke, my guy. All right, Rusty, I signed your form.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
The fact that they actually animated the exchange of the paper and the keys is awesome.
Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max. I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know, I just don't want any trouble.
Right, thanks.
So the focus is for the radio tower and not the dog. So we can't pet Max, but we'll just pretend Rusty's gonna pet him for us. Don't worry, Rusty took care of it. Doggo has been pet. Everything is good.
Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
Barry lives in New Jersey. Let's be very honest with one another. Belly rubs will make Max better.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. This is
What
not
an
a goddamn
aggressive
debate,
lamp
Barry.
smack, Ellen.
I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You
He's
stay
Joe
here,
Pesci
and
from
if I'm
8
not
Heads
back
in
by
a Duffel
morning,
Bag.
call the cavalry.
There are plenty of fine people in New Jersey. I'm just saying Barry has New Jersey energy more so than New York
Just
energy.
be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Barry,
Bless you.
what do you say we push these beds together, huh, pal?
I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Didn't you just get done telling me that I'm your
You wanna
best
know where you can
friend?
shove that flashlight?
All right, I understand that you're upset about your trip, Barry. Why don't you relax? Get a coffee, my guy. This is so much nicer than the cabin we rented. Jeez, why didn't we come here to begin with? I would have finished my novel by now. All right, Can we exit out the back door? We can. Can we exit out the front door? We can. No, we want these on. I don't want to leave Barry hanging out to dry. Guys, oh, I was gonna say you might want to water the plants, but it looks like some kind of an ivy derivative. Man, all of the models, like, yes, everything's pretty blocky because it is an older game, but I am shocked at how the efforts they went to model something like the grill. Oh, we can get to the front of the house. Okay, hang on. Hey, where the hell did all my batteries go? You guys steal all my batteries while I was in jail? That's some bullshit. I was hoarding batteries. Thank you very much. I saw that thermos on the porch. Don't panic. Ooh. All right, Barry, while I'm getting my wife back, why don't you fill up the hot tub, bud? When I get back, we'll all celebrate. And by we'll all celebrate, I mean you can leave, and my wife and I will celebrate.
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
Barry, not a fighter.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
I mean, obviously. I gotta say, Barry so far seems to have the best grip on all of it.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
You say that, Alan, but
I knew I should
what
have
if we
gone to the
ran them
cops.
over?
This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
We don't have our shotgun or flare gun anymore either. Kind of a bummer. So it looks like every chapter is kind of a fresh slate, or at least that's what we're looking at between chapters 1 and 2. Jesus Christ. Bird noises are scary as hell, y'all. Just gonna go on record with that. Do a perimeter check. We go inside, or is this just here for trimmings? Hello, do you have shotguns?
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me.
Oh, come on, Doc.
No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously.
They're so
you're
ridiculous.
in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
He's still talking about the fish.
Taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
What? It's so absurd. I love it. Zero additional information from the story. just window dressing and produced like it was critical information. That's so delightful. All right. I hate that. Oh, that light got shattered. Why are you swinging? There's not enough wind for you to swing, tire swing. Why don't you relax? Drop hazard. Well, let's not drop then, shall we? Another cabin. Now, last time we went into a cabin, this one's got broken windows. Last time we went into a cabin, I saw a dude through the window. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but I sure as hell did. I don't know if we can get into this one. Elderwood Nature Trail, Moonshine Cave, and Lover's Peak all down this way. Alright, so we're still on track. Oh, every window is busted. Hello? Whoa! Enough. Enough with the birds, please. Alright, so we're not going to get to turn the lights on in here, obviously. This place is a shit show. Okay. Nothing in the closet. Do I dare turn on the TV? Ooh, another Night Springs episode.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode: The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
I love this stock sound effect.
That guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
Oh my god.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark, believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
It's so absurd. No closing narration? Oh, here we go. Oh, no closing narration. The work speaks for itself.